Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Purdue Overwatch broadcast. Today we will be watching. This is Purdue Sigma versus. Oh, I forgot the. Hold on, let me pull that up real quick. Oh,
State
we're against the.
University of New York, Fredonia. I don't know if I pronounced the
Yes,
city wrong, but that's what
I think you
SUNY
got
stands
that.
for.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I'm excited. So we're all set up here. We're just looking for bands and map pick, and it looks like the map pick's Lijiang. I don't know if that's the map we're playing on or if that's just what
Yeah.
was automatically selected, but I feel like Lijiang is the map I've seen the most sets for this league start on. It's just such a good map for what it is, such a good solid capture map that kind of good way to open up a set.
Yep. It seems like every single team plays Lijiang and Kings Row. I guarantee we'll see Kings Row
Yeah.
at some
Oh, for
point.
sure.
Unless Hybrid isn't played, that's going to be the map picked. But
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely some of those maps that are kind of just it's fair to say that they're pretty skill testing, They've been played so many times over, they're pretty straightforward and they don't really enable any like super strong quote unquote cheese strategies. It's just you can play whatever you want, and if you're better at it than the enemy team is their strategy, you're gonna win. So I definitely respect Li Young as our opening pick here.
Yep. And it has pretty big variability in what comps you can play. Obviously, Control Center, you kind of just play Brawl, but you can play Dive, Brawl, or like even like a Poke comp if you really want to, even
Yeah,
though it's not great
definitely.
right now on Gardens and Night Market. So opportunities for really any team to win, no matter what their preferred comp is.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just down to what you've practiced the most. Yeah, again, like you said, Poke's not the greatest comp, but I saw just last week Purdue varsity playing Sigma on I think it was Night Market,
Hmm.
and like just totally domination from them on that Sigma.
Oh, looks
Oh,
like going to
map switch to Nepal
Nepal.
actually. Okay,
Oh,
all right,
this
definitely
way back in the day, my team used to pick Nepal always first map. Not a whole lot of teams do, but
I'll say I don't hate it. I think
yeah.
capture is a really good mode overall in Overwatch 2. And honestly, even like Nepal, one of the lesser seen control maps, I still think it's a very solid map. So just have to
Yeah.
see. I don't know which of the team gets map pick or if it's random or if it's agreed upon. But I the
I think
what's up?
it's sorry, no, my mic picked that. Yeah, so the team that's hosting the match, which is
The New
SUNY,
York.
yeah,
Yeah.
they get to pick the first map, and then the loser of that map gets to pick the next, and so on until the series
Okay.
ends.
Okay. So then
So, yep.
I'll assume they have something cooked up for Nepal. When I think of Nepal, though, there's not any like one strategy that really comes to mind. It's a pretty like diverse map in terms of what goes on, especially between the different sub maps.
Yeah, you can play a whole lot of
Hmm.
stuff. Obviously, stuff like Poke is very good on Sanctum, but you can still play Brawl
Hmm.
and Dive just fine on that map. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, you can play pretty much whatever you want here, which is why I really like this map a
Exactly.
lot.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, if you're not picking the standard Lijiang, why are you picking Nepal? I guess that's kind of because there's nothing
Yeah,
nothing really stands out to me about Nepal. It's got some pretty open areas. It's got a lot of really strong high grounds, I guess. But
yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe it's just they practiced it one. They played it one time in a scrim, did really well, and now there's like, yep, that's our map one. And
I
plus,
get it.
so many teams don't pick anything but Lijiang. So if you go to Nepal, they probably have more practice on it
That's true.
than most other
Um,
teams. Right.
yeah, I will say Orisa is actually a very strong tank on this map overall. I would argue.
Oh yeah.
And the Sunny, is it fair to call them that if they're SUNY, just calling them Sunny? They did
Sure.
opt to ban Zarya, so I think it's
Did
very
they
very
ban?
possible we could see the Orisa
Ooh,
pick.
I did
And then
miss
Kiriko
Zarya.
ban from the side of Purdue here. I like that. I mean, oh, it looks like they're also banning their flex support player here.
Ooh.
It's definitely
Said they banned Zarya. All right, thank you for pointing that
yep,
out. I did not see
yeah.
that.
So yeah, I mean, if I had to guess any tank coming out here from New York, it would be the Zarya.
Or Orisa?
Or yeah, or
Yeah,
Orisa.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like, I mean,
Czar's
it's not
banned.
like you only ban Czar when you're on Orisa. Of course, Czar is arguably the best tank or even character in the game right now. But even still, like, uh, then yeah, Kiri, I assume just means you don't want to run Kiri, right? Like she's also arguably the best in her role, where she just does so much for kind of for free. So banning her out just to say, we'd rather not run Kiri. We don't want that in our game. Like I totally get that.
Yep. Yep. Just I wonder what they're gonna run though, because it seems like every single team just plays Kiriko. They just throw their flex support in Kiriko jail, and then their main
Yeah,
support gets
pretty
to
much.
play.
Then Lucio or Wu Young,
Yeah, Lucio, Wuyong, Ana
maybe
sometimes,
Brig. Yeah.
maybe Brig if they're playing against a Wrecking Ball and just want to play the most anti-dive ever. But
I know I do know that Fwog has a affinity for the Juno, so I could definitely see that
mm,
being like we want to ban Kiri just so Juno's a little bit of a better option. And Nepal's,
Traveling to
Juno
Nepal.
obviously a weaker support in the meta right now, but she's not the worst here on Nepal. A lot of big area, a lot of like good spots for her to get off those torpedoes. But I mean, it's really just a matter of what Purdue
Initiating
has cooked up here.
match.
yeah, not sure if the characters that they picked there and the waiting for players a little bit, because I think that
Did see a Brig?
yeah, I don't know why it always does that though, where whenever you start a custom game, seems like I'm not sure if it's like a code or something, but
Ready for battle.
uh it does like that little waiting for the game to start, and you have to start it actually from the lobby. So yeah, it looks
Oh,
like they are coming that on.
interesting. It looks like the comps are kind of settling out here. We see New York on a very, very poke comp. We see Sigma, Cass, Hanzo, and then the Brig Weyoung backline, double main support, and also main support from the side of Purdue running. Oh, never mind. We switched to the BAP Weyoung, which is in itself a very good backline. So let's just have to see what we're cooking here.
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of poke here. Probably this first fight's gonna end in ult, I'd imagine, just because there's
Yeah.
so much survivability.
Already, we're kind of in that poking phase here. Just both teams shooting off cooldowns. And Risa just gonna drop straight to point, but we already see a Hanzo headshot onto Green Juice. The Baptiste falling from the side of Purdue. I mean, yeah, that's the strength of Hanzo, right? He might have a little bit of consistency issues, and he might not have the best ult, but sometimes when you don't know we have a Hanzo, that's just gonna be your flex support gone. And now it's going to be a difficult fight for Purdue. It looks like they're just going to have to give up map control and enable New York to capture this point first as they back up and kind of wait for their BAP to get back. You're not going to do a lot without that Baptiste. But now here we see Ghoul setting up on the flank to see if he can find anything with this fully charged rail shot. Hitting the disruptor, but no connection on the rail, and now he's in deep water, but Clone falling to the side of New York, it does work out. He's still able to get out, so now it's just a matter of whether they get their picks. And yep, that Sigma just get knocked off the map by Oriza's spear, and now Purdue immediately flipping the map after that first fight loss.
Yeah, that flank from the Soldier and Wuyong really just gave Purdue so much space to move right on the point there. I know we were on that perspective, but the Orisa just walked straight onto the back line for SUNY there.
Yeah, I mean, when your backline represents so much damage on its own, with that Baptiste, oh my god, and just immediate trade, Cassidy falling for New York, and Ghoul falling for Purdue, now a 4v4 situation where it's going to kind of be a slower fight now that both teams are down at DPS. It's going to be a lot more sustained than the damage end, so that's definitely favoring Purdue here, where they're just going to send the point, but Sigma off the map again to the Orisa Dazzling spin, and now you're just going to walk him down, use the Terror Surge just to secure these last kills, no man left alive, and once again, Purdue, just a very good, strong fight, getting their early kills, and I mean, the Orisa gameplay I'm seeing right now is very, very strong.
Yeah.
Purdue won that with just the Orisa ult too, so
I mean,
SUNY
just
is
very,
close
very.
to all 5 ults, but
You can
Purdue
count
can
on
go
me.
fast and have the ult advantage here. Plus they have higher quality ults too, with the High Noon and Hanzo, what's it called, Dragon Strike versus Overclock and Blizzard.
This will help.
Yeah, definitely. If I got to choose either side's ult, I would definitely choose Purdue. And oh my goodness, we see the tidal wave online. Not gonna knock any down through the rally, but oh my god, kill after kill even with the rally online. And that's a great fight. Purdue taking out 2 ults for 2, but emerging victorious in the kill count.
Yeah, that's both support ults out, and only 10 seconds left for SUNY. The Orisa can really just body block the front here. I don't think they could get through without that, honestly.
I don't think so, especially with that window online. Okay, touch. But yeah, that's going to be Hanzo down. Lucio managing to stay alive here, so there is a way through for New York. Mortality field and the window goes down, and now it's going to be very difficult for New York. But that Lucio just still alive. We see Cassidy falling. Now a lot of damage down to New York. Can we find this kill on the Sigma? Yes, we can. And I don't think New York has much of a way to fight, but Lucio staying alive through it all. It's going to stall that point. Very slippery is the frog. And there he goes.
Ooh, nice spear to
I
end it
am
off.
always here to help.
Yeah, aside from that first fight where Green Juice just took an arrow to the forehead, Purdue dominated. Oh, I just realized I forgot to turn off the little side panel there.
Yeah.
Ready for battle.
I mean, definitely, like, with those poke compositions, right, one thing that can be very strong is just the fact that in those, again, obviously pokes phases of the fight, that's where they're going to get some of their kills. You know, Hanzo just shoots a log through your team and then that's someone down. But once the fight doesn't get to just be poke, once that Orisa kind of gets to brawl and you have people set up on flank, it becomes a lot more of a problem of whether you can shut out those, like, alternative ways of playing.
4, 3,
Looking on tab here,
1.
Gilly,
Round
15-0.
one. Capture the
Most damage on the team. Putting in work there on the Orisa.
Piece of cake.
Hack complete.
Around
Ooh, we do see a
Sombra.
switch to Sombra from Ghoul.
And the backline for SUNY completely swapped.
Yeah, I mean, if I see a Juno on the enemy team, I'm definitely looking to run some kind of dive. I think the Sombra pick could be a very powerful option here. We see Purdue opting to not play the high ground, just rotating to low here as they take all the fire, but instead just opting for that early cap point. But Immortality Field already having to be deployed, and we're not even rotating to point. We're just going to take this fight from the low ground, maybe looking to set up that Sombra dive before we get things started. And we're just, I mean, playing this fight so slowly. We do see a bunker on the point start to form with that May wall, but now New York is knocking on your door. What can you do? Sombra hack onto the Cassidy, nothing found, and New York is just going to cap that point. Purdue taking the fight very slowly, not on the stage. However, 5 are still alive on both sides despite the point being capped, and we see 2 fall from New York as both the Cassidy and the Juno are going to fall, and now it's 5v3. I mean, not a favorable position for New York, and now they're just going to have to back up as the Sigma's health bar falls. You are not fighting that. Oh, the Ghoul does fall, and now we're up to more of a favorable position. If the Sigma can stay alive, they are still in it, but the health bar is dropping far too fast, and that's going to be a fight 1 for Purdue.
Yeah, Purdue's gonna have to watch out this next fight though. Lucio for SUNY did build the beat very, very fast there. Of course, Purdue does have 2 support ults. In fact, they have 4 ults on their whole team compared to just the 2 for SUNY. But that beat is going to be a big obstacle for Purdue to face here.
Yeah, definitely interesting how the ults are going to play out here because that beat is such a powerful ultimate. Despite the fact that, you know, Purdue has some strong ults, there's nothing quite at the strength of that sound barrier.
You can count on me.
Looks like SUNY is just taking their time setting up soon.
Maywall split New York super hard. We find any kills with Tidal Wave. Yes, we can. Both
Big
support falling
blizzard.
out of New York, and a big blizzard going to clean everything up. Very cleanly executed from Chicken Man there.
Dude, I think that the Wuyong ult from Purdue actually knocked or stunned the Lucio while he was casting beat. I don't think he got the beat off.
Oh, I didn't even hear the voice line. That was like it must have been like
Yeah.
very early in the beat. I didn't even hear the vamos. Just straight losing the beat. That is not what you wanted if you're Purdue. It could have been the hack as well. I don't know.
Now SUNY is on Alari Lucio. That's
Oh, EMP finding 4 and Terra Surge N gonna capitalize, knocking out 3 with just the damage. now it's going to be a matter of cleaning up Cassidy falling to low HP. And wow, once again, Purdue is playing these ult fights so well. And now I don't even know if you're going to be able to get onto the points as New York. You're going to need a crazy Lucio rollout to even get to that overtime. And with Orisa, Spear, and Lucio Boop online, I don't think you're making it. That is going to be map 1 for Purdue Sigma team.
Yeah, that was, again, aside from that first fight, that was pretty convincing domination from Purdue here. Gold.
Yeah. Oh.
Dual play thing.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Yeah, just thing I will say is it felt like Purdue, despite not having being the ones that take the map, had a much stronger plan of what they wanted to play. That Orisa in combination with both of the DPS was played so beautifully. Where Terra Surge, you know, on its own it's fair to say it's a pretty underwhelming ult, but when you pop it alongside the Terra Surge, or alongside the EMP from Sombra, and then now everyone can't use their abilities to get out. Now everyone's taking all that bleed damage, and that Terra Surge is going to execute when they're all dying. Or you combine it with that Mail, and now they're all slowed down and in fear of being frozen. I just think the game plans set by Purdue were so much stronger, and they were able to win those ult fights so much cleaner.
Yeah, and they really took advantage of the Zarya ban from New York there. I'm surprised that SUNY didn't play Orisa too. Whenever I saw the Zarya ban come in, that's what I expected, is they wanted to play Orisa, but they instead opted to play the Sigma, which, I mean, Sigma can have trouble dealing with Zarya as well, but...
Yeah, I mean, one of the problems with Sigma and kind of shield tanks in general right now in Overwatch is that if the enemy team kind of surrounds you and starts shooting at you from all angles, it can become very difficult to start clearing those angles. And I think that's something that Purdue kind of exhibited beautifully with that Sojourn on the first point, right? The Sojourn is going on a flank with that Weeyong, and now my Orisa can walk for free. And then with the Sombra as well, just kind of being able to dive for free, and the Sigma not doing a whole lot to interrupt. And it looks like we're on King's Row now.
Yep. Another one. Yep, that's the map. The other map that everyone plays that, and I guess they don't play Legion, so it makes sense that they would play at least one of the...
Yeah, I expect they're probably gonna play that Sigma again. That Sigma Hanzo Cassidy comp is probably gonna be a lot better here, especially on defense, just because you can set up so many people on high ground and just have a Sigma just sit point and be unkillable if your DPS are putting out enough pressure. So
yeah,
I'm interested to see how they play it though.
I think it's fair to say that King's Row is a little bit more of a bland map. Not in a bad way, not that it's boring necessarily, but that it's very, very straightforward. A lot of just, you know, maybe there's one angle, maybe two angles that your DPS can take, but generally speaking, King's Row is one of the few maps that even in this like more polished and planned and methodical level of play, you're gonna see people just poke main. So when you're running, you know, Hanzo, Cassidy, Sigma, you're gonna want to play on a map that doesn't give a lot of flanks and doesn't give a lot of dive angles. So I could definitely see this going a lot better for New York if they play their cards right.
Yeah. Past the first point, it's pretty much just a completely linear map with like one off angle you can take. So yeah. Waiting on the ban from New York here. They're banning the May.
Yeah, I mean the Chicken Man's May was kind of crazy there. I think every Blizzard got 2 or 3. And that May wall is also pretty potent on King's Row. It can kind of just shut out an entire like backing pass. So for your tank there, that can be a very difficult prospect.
Yeah, that there's so many choke points really on this map that May just shuts down. Like obviously that first the first gateway there, everyone knows that, but I mean just everywhere on this map, May is so good. So yeah, I don't blame him at all for taking May out.
Yeah, no, for sure. Can also interrupt that poke really hard if you just shut out the angles of the enemies. And Brig, which is interesting. I couldn't give you a strong justification for that. I don't assume Purdue is going to be running dive here. Maybe it's because they saw New York roll out on the Brig. They're like, okay, yeah, try something else. But my assumption would be that Weeyong is going to be the main support ran here on King's Row. Weeyong represents an insane amount of damage on these maps with these linear hallways, just like constantly pumping out 100 damage, 100 damage, 100 damage. So, I mean, hey, maybe Purdue knows something I don't, but
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Wu Yang and then either Ana or Kiriko. Purdue banning the Kiriko makes me think that Green Juice, the flex support, doesn't like playing Kiriko that much. And then they
yeah,
played Baptiste for I think the entirety of
yeah,
round one. So that's honestly not a
felt
bad
that.
character to play though, with
Yeah,
all the high
Baps, yeah,
grounds,
very solid on these
especially
poke maps.
on
Yeah,
first point. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, one thing that's interesting about King's Row is that the supports you run do kind of deviate more from the main support flex support. I think in terms of maps that we see double flex support on, this is one of the ones more frequently that we can see like ERE Kiriko or Baptiste
Now
Kiriko or Ana
entering
Kiriko, or even
King's
Juno
Row.
comes out on this map sometimes where you'll see Juno Ana, especially on that first point, just being so effective. So the supports are definitely something that be mixed up more. So it's just interesting to see what both sides opt to play because it's not like they haven't scrimmed King's Row. King's Row is the map to play.
Yep, this is the second map you play in every scrim ever.
Pretty much.
So let's see what we've got in store from both teams.
Yep.
Ready for
Okay.
Huh.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so as mentioned, both sides are on the Wuyong. Wuyong, yeah, I can't be surprised. He's just such a threatening force on this map. And then Kiriko on the side of New York, Ana on the side of Purdue. Yeah, very typical picks. And we do see the Soldier, Hanzo, Sigma, pretty much same ideas they're trying to run on Nepal. But then on the side of Purdue, we see Reinhardt, which sure it's King's Row. Widow, sure it's King's Row. But then Junkrat, I mean, your Maze Band, you're gonna go Junkrat. I am so curious to see what Chicken Man's cooking because I'm not doubting him right now. I saw his May, like I see what he could do with the oddballs.
4, 3,
Yeah, let's see.
One.
Let's see. So we
Attackers
can open the map up.
defend objective A.
Oh. Oh.
Okay. Yeah, Ghoul going for kind of that early kill from spawn, not really panning out. Is that...
Trade, though.
Oh my goodness! Wow, already a pick onto Hanzo from Junkrat. That's ridiculous. I mean, what a character. And yeah, I mean now it's a 4v4 situation, but your Widow's gonna get set up a lot faster than a Hanzo's gonna get back from spawn on this point. So if you're Purdue, you just wait for your Widow, and now Widow now on Sojourn. Important to know. I definitely agree with that. I mean, Sojourn. We're walking in, and oh my god, Fire Strike onto the Wuyong, just kind of standing in the open there. And now down a main support is not what you want to be for your New York. We're going to see the Ryan just walking in here. You're taking a lot of space, going to charge in time after time, swinging on that hammer. And I mean, yeah, just very clean kills from Purdue, representing so much pressure in the front line.
Yeah, without speed to get the Sigma away from this Reinhardt, I mean, Ryan's just gonna be swinging on him all game long. Even if the Ryan doesn't have speed, still.
For
It's
sure,
really
yeah.
gonna be
It's
hard for Sig to outspace his Ryan.
yeah, entering Brawl is definitely not something you want if you are New York. You want to stay in your poking phase. You want to stay back as far as you can. So Ryan charge, you know, this is kind of a reputation of Ryan players just charging in and dying. But this is one situation where it might just work.
Yeah. Fresh shit's off cooldown. It's a good idea, trust.
And already we're back in the poking phase of the fight here. Not a lot going to come of this until, you know, we kind of evolve. But we do see the Hanzo headshot once again. And another one. Both DPS falling from Purdue. And if you're Purdue, you're not fighting this. You're just backing.
Yeah, Purdue's got Shatter, Tire, and Nano Boost here. This next fight, and they're unfortunate.
Oh my
A
goodness.
lot of picks, my god.
Yeah, that's probably... Oh! But Ghoul turning the favor, finding a trade onto Clone. Once again, King's Row spawn is so far away. We see a big shatter onto the back line. Nano Boon's gonna follow that up. We're just gonna see Hanzo fall. We're gonna see Wuyong fall, Kiriko fall, and now it's just a matter of cleaning up the Sigma. Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah, with the... Yeah, I don't really know what Sig can do against the Rhine here, honestly. Like, if the Soldier and Hanzo aren't breaking the Rhine shield, I guess Wuyong too can help with that. But if they aren't breaking the Rhine shield before Rhine gets to Sigma, they just lose whatever space the Sigma's in. So, I'm really wondering if they are going to try to switch something up. Yep, and
Alright,
there we go, baby!
Getting in with the tidal wave, knocking out Soldier. Anti-heal onto the Sigma, probably not going to live much longer. Wuyong also falling. Reinhardt going to die in the process, but down 4 is New York, and now it's just this Kiriko. Probably not going to be a hero and win that one before.
Clean fight from Purdue there. Took that with, I believe, only the Wuyong ult.
Now, only the Tidal Blast, and we are once again AD to Shatter.
Yeah. 90 now.
Yeah, I mean, we're a Fire Strike or 2 away from the Shatter. It's going to be a very decisive factor in this fight, just like it was 2 fights ago. When you're a poke comp, you know, you're kind of going to be huddled in the back, but if Reinhardt just infiltrates and hammer down, I mean, that can be so cool. Falling. Backing up from the Dragon here is Reinhardt, not going to engage with that. And we do see the Gravitational Flux connecting on Reinhardt as well as Wuyong, I believe. Health bars dropping across the board for Purdue, but the Overclock drops as Ryan and Wuyong fall. Hanzo going to get traded, but I don't think it's enough when your tank is down. And yeah, Ghoul as well falling. Just a clean flux.
Ticket man lives these. Just a foot short of the ledge.
Yeah.
Almost got it. Dude does have the Shatter here. And yeah, the Hanzo and Kiriko are going to be safe from it because they're just going to play the high ground, but the others, I wouldn't be surprised if we just see a Shatter and then just kill straight on the wheel. Ooh, nice.
No! Shatter straight into the wall. That's unfortunate if you are Purdue. Oh, but Tac Buys are getting shut down by a Rhine in your face. I don't care if you have auto aim. I have 700 health. And now this is a pretty favorable position for Purdue. We see Riptire being destroyed by Delphox here, but it's still Purdue's in a favorable position as the Sigma falls. And Hanzo, no more one-shots for New York, and it's just going to be a game of cleanup from Purdue.
Enough whining.
Clean fight there, and now with no ults to contest versus Wuyong ult.
That Tidal Blast, I think, single-handedly is going to make it impossible for New York to get much of a fight going as it takes up the Kiriko. However, the trades, after trades, you see a DPS and Flexible falling for both sides. Wuyong falling for New York. And now we're just going to see Ryan swinging his hammer around in a very overkill Shatter onto the 1 HP Sigma to take the round.
Yeah, they got... Yeah, SUNY got 2 picks there, but... I mean, the Reinhardt's just still alive and 700 HP. Purdue was not going to lose that fight.
For sure, yeah. I mean, even the problem when you're getting trades in a fight like that is that you're rushing in if you're New York. You know, you need to get everyone on point as soon as possible. So all of the members of your team are taking so much damage as they're walking in, including that Sigma. Whereas the Reinhardt's kind of unbothered. As New York, you need to focus targets and get kills as soon as possible. So even though you're getting trades, that Ryan's at full and that Sig's, you know, falling in the health bar. So it's going to be a favorable situation for Purdue.
Looks like SUNY sticking with a pretty similar comp, but they're swapping the Hanzo over to Reaper. Probably just put some more frontline pressure on the Reinhardt, so the Reinhardt can't just swing forever on Sigma. But not sure if that's going to be enough, honestly. Although on offense, you're typically able to make it's typically easier to play the game the speed that you want to play when you're on offense. So I wouldn't be surprised to see SUNY look better here against the Rhine comp when, you know, Rhine has, or they get to choose where they want to fight, not the other way around.
Yeah, when you're kind of forced into those brawl situations against Reinhardt or Sigma, you know, you're a frail old scientist up against Reinhardt Wilhelm of the Crusades, like, you're not winning that. But now that we can stand back a little bit, you know, hold our shield, Ryan's not going to come and infiltrate us in this hotel. It's going to be a much more favorable situation. This Ryan kind of only going to be able to get value with those fire strikes as you see him throwing out one after another. And it looks like as New York, we're going to take a rotation around the map here. We are not fighting in this choke. We do not want to get anywhere near that Reinhammer. And yeah, just setting up on a high ground is the Sigma, raining down shots. Now is, okay, just dropping back down immediately. And we see another Junkrat pick onto the Soldier. It's just so effective. I mean, literally blowing people up is Junkrat. Sometimes I just have one, and then, oh, pinned into the wall on Sigma. His health bar dropping, but the rock on Ryan gonna knock him back down, so he's not gonna be able to secure that kill. But New York is getting, oh my goodness, what a rail shot onto the Wuyong in the far back. And now Purdue is up in numbers, and they're gonna be able to play this fight a little bit more aggressively. But nothing you can really find when New York is just chilling in this back area. Like you said, being able to take the speed that they want. Sigma's health bar, however, is not doing the greatest. They're forcing you so many cooldowns just to keep him alive, and now it's difficult to push if you're New York against Reinhardt, as you're bleeding before the fights even start.
Not so fast.
Oh my god, and Sigma just falls.
Coming through.
Oh my god, the 2K.
You can count on me.
Yeah, beat Wuyong. Can we see it through?
Alright, well, you need to Wuyong yourself ult pin immediately. Wuyong ult yourself in immediately.
I think that's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Quag, if you hear this in 3 minutes, like if you're watching the stream, you need to go back in time 3 minutes, Wuyong ult yourself, and go to their spawn. Okay, we see the Kitsune rush drop from the side. However, the Shatter I do not believe got any connections, and we just see, okay, Wuyong ult popped though. What can we find? Kill onto the Reaper. Sigma's health bar falling, and we do see the Soldier fall once again. Trap onto Sigma, and now we're just gonna, yeah, once again, literally blow him up. What, I mean, such a fast and intense fight. It was hard to tell what's going on. It's getting a little lag on the stream there, so I could not tell, especially, like, I just heard voice lines and saw colors flashing and people dying.
It's alright.
Oh my goodness.
And you're probably gonna do better.
Yeah,
As
what
anyone
a-
can do.
I mean, I will say the precision we've seen from Chicken Man has been pretty incredible here. We've seen his like very slow projectiles looking more like hit scan when he's just like even just killing people from this mid range. Obviously, he's got those very explosive one shots. At the same time, we're seeing him, you know, force people off the high ground with only that primary fire. We see gravitational flux pops from Sigma. Not gonna find any kills, but the tactical visor online. But immediately taking that over
Nice
shot.
sleep. Nice sleep.
Incredible sleep on the Death Blossom, and now you're gonna be able to stabilize if you're Purdue here and just get these last few kills that you need to secure this fight. And now New York is in a precarious situation as the time is ticking.
Wuyong.
Slippery character. And we do see the Earth Shatter online once again. Feels like he just always has it every fight. Quick charging ult. Oh my goodness!
Fight for free. It's hard not to have
Riptide. Riptide is going to take out Soldier before the fight even starts, and now this is really difficult for New York. You're down one already. You're going to have to find a way through this. Reinhardt with Earth Shatter. I mean, if I'm New York, I don't know what I'm going to do to even touch here. Yeah, as Reaper's not going to make it, and now you're down both DPS. Soldier's going to make it back. Kitsune rush, but Shatter finding 4? And yeah, just using that Wuyong ult for style points to knock down that Kiriko. And yeah, that is map 2 for Purdue University. The Reinhardt looking so dominant against the Sigma. Just reminding New York who the Sigma team is.
Think we're gonna see a Rhine ban next match?
I mean, I don't know. I doubt we would see Ryan played anywhere other than King's Row. Maybe if we go on some really brawl-heavy map like Surabasa, we might see it come out. But realistically, I think that's it for the Ryan.
This ends now.
This was down 2. Oh.
Actuating the.
Oh, that was a good rock. That was a good rock.
Yeah, I don't know what they ban here. I mean, you could. I think they'll probably ban Reinhardt, but I think that Sojourn would be a better ban for SUNY first, just
For
because
sure.
Ghoul is doing so much on the Sojourn that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Soj is kind of revered as one of the best hit scan DPS in the entire game, right? So when you're trying to play poke as New York, and you're not matching that Sojourn, it can be really difficult to match up as a soldier against Sojourn, or even as a Cassidy. He was, a pretty strong character in his own right, but just can't quite match up to Soj. I could definitely see Soj being a viable ban from the side of New York if they want to keep running this poke composition.
Yeah, yeah. I think they should play around their Hanzo. Who was it? DJ Delphox, I think was playing
Yeah, DJ
Hanzo.
Delphox.
Yeah, they got
Yeah,
a lot of headshots.
yeah, deadly precision on the Hanzo
Uh,
for sure. It's rare you see Hanzo get so many kills so early into fights.
It's like they're swapping in. They're swapping out a support player here.
Okay.
So.
I believe that was their flex support. I believe Magnus was representing their Wuyong there, so I assume they're switching the Kiriko out for something else. Interesting.
Alright, let's see. Maybe they got something crazy. Maybe they got what would you even sub in to play flex support? Like,
Right. It also could be some kind of situation where this is like they don't really have a defined main support and flex support, and it could be like Let Me Cook is like a Lucio player, and Magnus can't really play the Lucio. I don't know. It's interesting to see what they might be running, because usually I don't see people switch out supports. Usually support's pretty like dry and cut roster of my main support plays these 3 characters, my flex support plays this handful of characters.
yeah. Yeah, maybe it is something more specialized though, like Alari, where I mean, not
Could
a
be
whole
like
lot of support players play her. So, who knows? Picking Coliseo.
Okay, so very dive heavy map then.
Yeah.
I'd like to think anyways. Although again, also a pretty brawly map. It's interesting to see New York picking these more like brawl dive sort of maps rather than the poke. I mean, you know what? I could see this being a pretty strong poke map though. There's definitely some longer sight lines.
Yeah, the first little bit,
Yeah.
especially you can like if you just have a Hanzo shooting down main there, you
Yeah.
can get a ton of headshots. After that though, it does become pretty hard to play those long range characters. You kind of have to play like low ground or go on like an off angle where you can't really get much support there. So
Mhm.
here's see
I'm
how
just
they end up
surprised to
playing.
see if they're such a fan of this like Hanzo, like this double hit scan Sigma sort of comps, to see them running it time and time again on these more dive brawl maps rather than like a Havana or a circuit or something along those lines that just really enables the poke. But I don't know, maybe the Sigma isn't coming out again. Maybe, 2 losses in a row on the Sig, we switch up the floor plan instead of the game plan.
Yeah, maybe. Looks like they banned Arissa.
Okay.
So if I'm Purdue here, I'm probably banning Hanzo just because
Yeah.
the only fights I can remember that SUNY like that they really won was ult dump or whenever the Hanzo just got a pick or two. So that's
Yeah,
what I
the
banned, but
Hanzo definitely one of the most like lethal forces on the side of New York. They're just finding arrow after arrow where very few other Hanzos would. So could definitely see that being a decisive ban on the side of Purdue.
yeah.
At the same time, you could also ban the Sigma. We've yet to see Clone switch off of Sigma, so it's very possible that we just want to take him out of his comfort zone and force him to play something, unusual for him, because that's always a reasonable option. But at the same time, you're doing so well against the Sigma.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think they can ban Sig because yeah,
Oh,
SUNY
a
banned the
reasonable running
tank.
ban.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I could definitely see Hanzo being the ban here. I'd be surprised.
Yeah. If there wasn't a tank ban though, I think a Sig ban would be fine.
Yeah,
I
mean,
agree.
it's
Yeah, just I mean, they're playing their comfort hero. Take them off their comfort hero. See what happens.
yeah. But at the same time, as Purdue, you're happy with the game flow staying exactly how it is. 2 pretty
Yeah.
decisive maps back to back. Just if they're on the same team, we're doing great.
Yep. Looks like we're having a little bio break, so it'll be a couple of minutes. But,
Definitely a no rush on that.
yeah, Purdue's
Give-
got plenty of time to pick their hero ban.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Gives New York some time too to kind of regroup after those last 2 maps and see what was going wrong. 6. Oh, 7. It's like the joke. It's like
Yeah.
it's like the joke. Do you guys get it? It's like the 2 numbers.
Yeah, it's
really funny.
those 2 numbers. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
I
It's actually
for a for like the first month of classes, every day whenever I would walk back to my apartment, I'd pass like a big like a residence hall, and it's like an 8-story tall residence hall, and on like one of the top floors, someone took like post-it notes and wrote like and put them on their window so you could see it, and it said 6, 7. I just saw
Oh
that,
my
and I'm like, I'm
goodness.
too old for this shit, man.
Yeah,
Too old
I
for
mean,
this.
I'm only a freshman at Purdue, and I still feel too old.
Yeah, I hear people just saying 6, 7. I'm just like, what does this even? I actually just don't get it. Most of the jokes I get, but I don't even know.
I
Where
think
that
the
comes
joke
from.
is literally just the numbers. I think that's
Yeah.
the entire joke. Is just the.
It's just you see 6, 7, you're like, hey, that's 6, 7.
Yeah, it's like a kind of pattern recognition meme where it's like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, these 2 numbers together. This is inherently hilarious.
It's funny because someone said it's funny, so then every time you see
Yeah.
it, it's funny.
Yeah, my culture has decided that this is hilarious, so this must now be hilarious. All right.
Yeah.
Looks like we're getting into it. Finally, we bio break over, and yeah.
And Purdue did end up banning the Soldier, which this is one of the few
Yeah.
maps where Soldier is actually played sometimes in like top level play. I don't know as much anymore, but I know a while
Yeah, I mean-
ago, what was it? I think Proper used to play him on this map.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like, Soldier obviously an off meta pick, right? Like
Yeah.
Soldier's not going to be the primary hit scan DPS you're playing, but on I was just having this conversation earlier. On push, Soldier's not the worst. Because push, you can have a lot of fights that are very trade heavy and very like, kind of aggressive 1-for-1. And in terms of hit scan DPSs that don't mind that, Soldier can get back a lot faster. And also the long sightlines on specifically this map benefit him a lot compared to even other hit scan DPSs because his kit is just so much better at dealing with that. So I definitely understand getting rid of Soldier on a map like this when they've been playing so much of the Soldier.
Yeah. If you leave Soldier unbanned, a lot of the times, yeah, you'll have like the neutral fight right here, and then Res bot opens up. You have a Soldier shooting you from up here because he ran all the way around.
Yep,
So,
exactly.
don't like that.
Yeah, just so good at repositioning for different push fights.
See, we see Sombra from both teams.
Oh.
2 tanks we have not seen yet in this series either.
Catch you later.
Oh yeah, Hazard and D.Va. So we are opting to run more of a dive here. We see the Sombra 1v1, and this decides everything. Purdue has to forfeit this map now.
Yeah, it's over.
I mean, that's just unfortunate that, you know, Purdue just, yeah, they're not allowed to, like, actually compete anymore. They just have to forfeit the map.
Yeah.
Anyways, we see a fight breaking out here properly now of a 4v5 now that the Sombra's down. However, Ghoul's going to get back here in time for this fight to break out. D.Va's health bar is dropping fast, so if we're dying this quickly, maybe not, but we do see Ghoul hop back into the fight and kind of just poking out here, trying to see what we can jump on, what advantages we can get. A lot of pressure being put onto the Weong here, and we see Sombra going for a hack on both sides, but the hack onto the Reaper going to be a lot more effective as he falls, and now Purdue's the one that's up numbers, and we're going to see the enemy Sombra now fall. May, of course, keep himself alive with that cryo freeze, and now we just need to shoot down this anti-hazard, and it's an easy win for Purdue.
¿Qué tal? Hack complete.
Can't quite land that stagger kill onto the Weong unless we translocate in, and the defense matrix keeping him alive. A beautiful team play there from Purdue. And now the fight's over for real, guys.
Yeah.
For sure.
Ghoul's up on the MP. That first fight doesn't matter, even though...
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you may have killed me, but I'm 90 to the EMP, so here's the real winner. We're gonna see a EMP pop here probably pretty shortly because no other ultimates are online. Actually, I may stand corrected as the Purdue's Blizzard is also online. However, this fight might be over before ults can even pop as we see Hazard forcing a lot of resources to keep him alive. just barely being able to eke it out with these Mount Wall as cover. And now this is a very hectic fight with people all over the map right now.
Did I scare you?
And we do see the EMP popped onto 5 people. All 5 members of Purdue going to be hacked here. However, the Blizzard going to freeze for the Suzu, keeping 2 alive. But, I mean, Chicken Man, as soon as his Mei is unbanned, putting up insane pressure with those Blizzards. Let's see it. Oh!
All right.
Wait. 1-1, 1-1.
Right, yeah. Yep. Now you gotta hack the pack. Yep, there we go.
Yep.
Science fic, which I'm assuming is dark for science fiction, is winning the pack hack fight though. So, you know, we gotta EMP a pack if we really want to get it hacked though.
I mean, if I'm cool, I'm going to their spawn and I'm solo EMPing the enemy.
Yeah,
Sombra,
I'm
to
pressing
be
you
honest.
right there. Ghoul's a better
Yep.
person than I would ever be.
Oh, but we do see him fall, so maybe he should have clicked that EMP. We see a bomb flying into the air, bit of a Limboco bomb there, but yeah, not gonna find anyone with that.
That's not a lot of space though, and he's actually gonna get it to this corner.
Yeah, and now we see Hazard struggling to get out there. Suzu getting it forced. We do see, I don't know what that ult is called. The Hazard ult is gonna be popped, but not much gonna be found out of it. However, most supports do fall. I stand corrected. Now the Mei is down, and we're just gonna see a Hack Diva alone in a 1v5. Very good fight from New York, not even having to use any ultimates other than the downpour from Hazard. I remember what it was called.
Yeah, I don't remember half the new ults.
In this game,
Oh, there's just so many.
I can't keep track. I don't know what Young's ult is called. I just call it Bubble.
I think it's Tidal Blast. I remember because once I was like doing comms and I'm like, what is Leon ult called? And I called it something. I'm like, oh, that's definitely not right. So I went after and I checked. And anyways, another fight breaking out here. Yeah, pretty standard. We see tanks shooting at each other. We see Weong able to fend off this Sombra, and now Ghoul taking out Science Fiction for a 2-1 score for Purdue University. And now the Tidal Blast onto the enemy Hazard going to knock him down, and we're going to find a kill onto the enemy Weong, and now it's a 3v5 situation where you are forced to back up your New York. Otherwise, we're going to let that Diva run in and pick out our Kiriko, and now it's a very precarious situation for Clone on the Hazard. And that's going to be a fight for Purdue.
That was a really good fight from Purdue because SUNY actually had the ult advantage going into that fight. I think Purdue's only ults were EMP and Tidal Blast, and they managed to win it with just Tidal Blast without SUNY being able to use any ults. And now both teams are almost even.
Yeah. Yep, and now we're back in that same position as that last fight. Oh, but we see a Kiriko very isolated here, but a hack on the Diva. That's a problem if you're going to immediately dash in. And the EMP online. Once again, a fat EMP onto 4 members of Purdue. And the follow-up Death Blossom going to take out 3. And if you're Purdue, you're just going to get out.
Yeah.
Wait, maybe Diva versus Sombra? Aww.
That was 2 ults. SUNY didn't keep both support ults up.
Catch you later.
This is gonna be pretty
Yeah.
tough for Purdue to beat that with the
Yeah,
what's it called, downpour? Something
yeah, I
like
think
that.
so. That sounds right. That's what I said earlier. Oh,
I get
little
it,
focused
I
on
get
that
it.
Sombra there. Did not see the entire team pull up, defend him. And I mean, already down your Sombra is Purdue. Gonna have to play this fight a little slower, but I don't think Hazard's gonna let you. Jumping onto those supports, gonna be knocked away by a grenade. However, you see another bomb for Purdue. Nano boost activated. Gonna go onto the backline, but nothing really gonna be found here, and we might be forced to use the bomb just to stay alive. But not even gonna opt to use it and just giving up the fight. Honestly, I get it. You're down so many ults, you're not gonna commit any more to this fight. Oh, but a kill onto the Kiriko nonetheless, gonna force that downpour to secure this fight now. And even though Purdue did lose the fight, they did secure themselves something of an ult advantage.
They're pushing ahead.
Oh, nice pick on that.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Oh.
Dog fighting a kill onto the enemy tank and main support. What looked like a completely lost fight. Just the power of those 120 damage Weong primaries.
Always take triple orb. That's why.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's. If anyone's having one of those arguments, you're like, oh, which major perk do I take on Weong? Just show them that clip of taking down 2 completely on your own. now we see a pretty stable situation finally from Purdue where the ults are about even. We do see the EMP online for New York, but that's not a huge deal as you're coming up on both DPS ults as Purdue. And now we're looking to use this Tidal Blast, but your D.Va's a baby, so I don't really know who you're going to give it to. I didn't even catch the D-Mech actually onto Purdue.
He's still alive. I think that might have just been miscommunication, although I'm not sure why. Keely does have bomb, but they're not using everything at DMAC. The last fight I understand, but that one...
Always good to hydrate.
I don't know. Yeah, you're the first one to die as D.Va. Just rip it. Maybe they were hacked? I honestly...
That was probably it. That's probably it.
Yeah. I very honestly just did not catch what happened. But hey, those are the sort of mistakes that do happen. Sombra, you can force mistakes that wouldn't happen against any other character. And now we see Tidal Blast knocking down the hazard as the lane drops. Weeyong's getting traded, and we once again do not opt to use the Toki Bomb to keep the mech up. And now New York taking yet another fight onto Purdue. I mean, that time I'm pretty sure. Oh my goodness! Chicken Man on 15 HP fighting a explosion onto DJ Delphox, but gonna fall right after as his cover is not as safe as he thought. However, the Sombra gonna fall for New York, and now it's only a 3v4 situation. And if you're Purdue, you're probably losing push this. Yep. Okay, taking a very high flank here, just gonna drop behind, and now probably looking to drop on these supports, dashing straight in, and Le Poco Bomb!
Yeah. Oh, that's what
fighting the Weeyong, and the group push onto Hazard!
And the crush. Alright. Saving that bomb was worth it.
You know what? I respect it, Peely. You didn't want to play your second life. You know what? I get that. That was sick, you know? You can't make a remake, you know, you can't make a bomb to remake into a TikTok, but you sure can make a bomb into Squish to a TikTok. So, you know what,
I think I read that in a philosophy book somewhere.
That's true, yeah. Sun Tzu said that, I think.
They took the robot.
And now
let's get it
back on the Reinhardt.
Actually, back on the Reinhardt, opting to switch off after that D.Va masterclass. I mean, yeah, I respect it. Like I said, this is a pretty solid team.
You just gotta not give up too much block space here since they don't have any ults for this fight. They kind of just want this fight to last as long as possible.
Yeah, unfortunately, it did not last very long at all. As Ghoul falling very early and really very shortly after. And now it's just a matter of staggers, but we are gonna rip the tire. And not gonna find anyone as now your Weeyong is also staggered. However, Chicken Man once again just finding these miracle picks. Oh, Reaper just barely sneaking away on 1 HP after that Death Blossom. And now the bot lead has been taken by New York. Oh, but it's sort of Ajax with that Tidal Blast. And now this is looking like a much more favorable situation for Purdue as you have forced an ult error there. And now, you know, you're going to need to win 2 or 3 fights in a row to get that lead back, but your ults are starting to look a little bit nice, and there's the first time this game.
Yeah, that Wujax is really going to help him out, but this EMP Kitsune Rush, that's going to be tough to beat here. I know they got 4 ults, but I mean, that's 2 of the strongest ults in the game, so...
Yeah, EMP and, of course, the lane are very powerful, so we're going to see if we can get something out before that even happens. However, Weeyong dying. However, the ult is able to cast, but not finding anything with it. And now you're down 2 already. However, Ghoul does find a trade, and the window plus the, shoot, I have no idea what Venture Ult's called, are popped, and now you're forcing a lot of space as Purdue. Mortality Field gonna keep Green Juice in the game there as that Reapers now has to disengage. Buying any time is exactly what you need if you're Purdue here, so just playing this fight kind of slowly, looking at whatever lead you can get is huge. Shatter onto 3. However, the EMP does activate. Not gonna find the kill, and the Kitsune lane dropped right as Kiriko dies. Now it's only 2 DPS versus a DPS and a tank. And unfortunately, the Kitsune lane is just enough to keep them into it. Oh, and not able to touch is Chicken Man. We're in a pretty winnable situation. Sombra on 1 HP, but...
Yeah, that...
I mean, the map.
Play of the game.
Yeah, that was, let's check the scoreboard here. That was a good map there.
think that as much as I love waiting for the Poco Bomb, I think that using that to remake to just win some fights probably would have been better. But you know what? I get it.
Yeah.
I
I
get
definitely
it.
think I definitely think at the end of the day, ults were kind of the name of the game there. I feel like every time I looked at the top to see what ults were online for both sides, I always saw, three or four for the side of New York and one or two for the side of Purdue. New York was just using their ults so efficiently and cleanly to just, win a fight instantly. And Purdue was kind of forced to use multiple just to stand a chance. And it ended up biting them really bad in the end, especially when some of the ults ended up, like we said with that Diva Bomb, we weren't using it for arguably its more effective use, and instead kind of opting to use it offensively. So just a matter of whether Purdue can clean up on the use of their ults is going to be, a big player in this next map.
Yeah, the Deepa Bomb, and also Ghoul got the first EMP in that game, but SUNY's Sombra, I believe it was Science, used I think 2 EMPs before Ghoul used their first EMP. So yeah. Definitely. Oh, it looks like some. Are these roll swaps coming in? Hold up. What am I seeing?
I don't know. Oh, it looks like they're putting. I don't know.
Huh. Alright. Oh, Suravasa from Purdue.
I love me a good Suravasa match.
Yeah. Alright. Alright, yeah, they swapped out Science, so now they got.
So probably back on the hard poke here, which is an interesting decision for Suravasa. I would expect to stay on the Sombra. Kind of dive and brawl are very strong here on Suravasa once again, but I guess opting to play the poke game again is New York.
Yeah. That if they play that Sigma comp, that's gonna be really tough to play on Suravasa. I feel this is so good for just close range.
I don't think it's unfair to say that Sigma is bad on this map. Team Liquid is a big proponent of using Sigma here on Suravasa, which is a very unique decision. You definitely see a lot more of the brawly or divey compositions, but at the same time, it's something that we've seen work, even at that top level of play. So I definitely don't hate the idea of what New York's doing. It's just a matter of whether you can execute it better than what Purdue is trying to run.
Yeah, well, waiting on our ban from Purdue, but maybe they'll just ban Sigma and this whole conversation is pointless.
Real. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that being the case.
Yeah, which would also, I think that would be a good ban, because not only does it force SUNY off of one of their comfort picks, but also it means that the Reinhardt can be banned, so Peely can go back to the Rhine, which was working really well in the second map.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of ways you can play this on the side of Purdue. The ban phase is so important for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Definitely think Hanzo ban could be in order. Not one of Hanzo's stronger maps, but he is still Hanzo.
Yeah, or the Reaper ban as well. DJ Delphox doing a lot on Hanzo, but also did a lot on Reaper last map, so.
Yeah, and Reaper definitely not slacker on this map. Very, very potent in those close ranges.
Yeah, and you can TP all over the place, especially like, oh yeah, Peely, they ban Reaper. I don't blame them.
No surprise there, yeah. And it also enables a lot more tank options to feel a lot more comfortable, because if we are running that Reinhardt, Ryan does love to get up close and personal, but so does Reaper. Even if Ryan wins that fight, if we're just shooting each other over and over again, Reaper's just going to fade out or TP out. Ryan doesn't really have the same luxury, so if banning out that Reaper just to enable, more of a brawl tank like the Reinhardt, yeah.
Yeah, especially since Purdue isn't really playing a Lucio or a Juno to let the Rhine get that speed boost. Yeah, letting Rhine stay in for a lot longer without having to deal with a Reaper. It's definitely gonna help out with survivability.
Yep.
And now if you're SUNY, there's 2 bans you could go with. I think either Reinhardt, as you said, or Wuyang, because Flog's just been doing so much on Wuyang this whole series. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, we saw that 2v1 clutch there last map, but, I mean, they're getting a lot of kills here, so wouldn't be surprised to see that ban.
Yeah. Yeah, Wei Yong's a great option, but the Lucio is very potent on this map, so I mean, I don't know if necessarily you would force a Lucio like versus Lucio situation on a map where Lucio is so potent, but at the same time, I don't think it's the worst decision.
Yeah, they banned Ana.
Okay.
Which.
Oh,
seems
Ana,
like-
interesting.
Yeah, that's been Green Juice has played that past couple of maps, so
That's true. I mean, Green Juice has also been on the Baptiste a lot though, so
Yeah.
I very well could see, this could also be a situation. I'm getting the impression that Green Juice doesn't feel especially comfortable on the Kiriko since it was banned first map and he hasn't been on it since it was unbanned. But if there's ever a map that you want to go Kiriko, I definitely think Suravasa is a really good, contender to just try it out.
yep. Yeah, well, curious to see what they run. I imagine probably Wu Yang Baptiste for Purdue.
Yes,
Traveling to
that would probably
Suravasa.
be that's the backline we've seen them represent in most of these games, so
Yeah.
I would not be surprised to see it a fourth time.
Yeah. thing I'm most interested in is the tank matchup, though. Obviously,
Initiating
while
Yeah.
they're still living in SUNY, chose Junker Queen, but I think they've done that for a couple of maps and they don't actually end up playing JQ, but this is a really good JQ map as well, so
For sure.
you're gonna
Yeah,
use
and
that.
with Reaper offline, the typical like Zarya Reaper that you see a lot of the time, kind of discourages you from playing Zarya. I will say with Zarya online, JQ does become a much more difficult character, but
Yeah. Well, let's
Ready
see.
for
Oh, they are
battle.
playing the JQ, it looks
oh
like.
yeah, there we go.
A pretty standard comp, except for the Hanzo usually is replaced by a Tracer or a Genji, or at least one of either Hanzo or Cassidy is. But aside from that, that is a pretty standard comp from SUNY. Purdue going back to pretty much what they've been playing, but Ghoul on the Hanzo is
5,
new.
4,
So interested
3,
to see
2,
how that ends up working
1.
out. Oh, back to
I mean-
Venture.
Yeah, not surprised. Venture very, very terrifying on Suravasa.
Yeah, Ghoul's very terrifying on Venture.
Yeah, I mean Ghoul's been sort of a terrifying force no matter the character he's been playing. Very the Sojourn, the Venture, the oh, who else was that even? Anyways, we're getting into a fight here. Already we see Purdue, even without that speed amp from Lucio, gonna immediately just bunker onto this point. And now, once again, we're seeing that problem where it's so difficult to test Reinhardt and to die trying as Ghoul gets into that backline as those fire strikes connect. And now it's just a game of cleanup, but Ghoul does fall in the process. Very well played from DJ Delphox, such a potent Hanzo.
Yeah, Ghoul bit off a bit more than they could chew there, but they opened the fight with 2 picks, so you know what? You get to move around.
You know what? Everyone gets their 1 feed. I understand. And Ghoul's gonna be back in time for this fight to break out. However, not in the same position, so it is a little bit more difficult for Purdue not having that backline menace. However, we do see a fire strike well on its way here. 80% already is Achilles, so now you're just gonna play a slower gameplay for your ultimates. However, slower is nothing in that Ghoul is playing, as that dig is gonna knock out the Cassidy. DJ Delphox falling in the process, and now you're just chasing down, swinging that big old hammer. Lucio's speed isn't quite enough to get you away. However, sort of friendly fire Maywall gonna keep that Joker Queen nice and safe.
That would have been a foot further back, I think it would have got the JQ, but
Oh, and Flock dying to a long-range Hanzo headshot, just like we've been talking about. DJ Delphox,
That really
deadly precision on the Hanzo. However, with so much space being taken by Purdue in that fight, they're just going to back to point here. And you're not going to be able to push in on much. And in the process, Kiriko dies to a Mei headshot. And now you might be flipping the point if you're New York and you're not even. But a massive Earth Shatter finding both that Hanzo and a way too late sound barrier is not going to save those two.
yeah.
And now it's just a game of cleanup. However, 4 ults were spent for Purdue.
Yeah, that sound barrier made Purdue use the mail. I don't think they needed to use that though. I think there was a 2v5 at that point, so a little bit of a
No, I-
mistake there.
I I think both a blizzard and a window were activated in a situation where they probably weren't necessary, and now there's a free Deadeye and a free Kitsune Rush on the side of New York, and all you have to respond is that Tidal Blast from Wuyong, which is an effective ult, so if we see a big tidal wave, this is still very winnable.
Flashpoint unlocks in 10 seconds.
Feeling better?
Yep. Once again, just already in that backline, Ghoul playing so quickly, exactly what you want for that venture. Oh, we see the Sombra switch, very important over the Hanzo. Well, we're switching right back to Hanzo, I think. DJ Delphox finessing the way off the map, and now we're just going to activate that Tidal Blast onto Reinhardt. Not going to find any thanks to a very well-timed Lucio boop. However, the situation is dire as the Fire Strike's going to take out Clone, and now we're just going to continue walking down the Jungle Queen however we can. And the Kitsune Rush dying post-mortem for the Jungle Queen, and you're not going to be able to push on that if you're New York. You're just going to have to give up point and give up a lot of time and a whole Kitsune Rush, and now Purdue's in a much better situation with the Earth Strike almost online.
Yeah, that Kitsune was a big mistake there, because that takes out SUNY's best ult for the fight, and now, I mean, I guess the Shatter doesn't care too much about it, but yeah, without having that, they're going to have a hard time.
Oh my goodness! Maybe the discussed Wuyong ban was necessary from the side of New York. Flog is such a menace with those water orbs. Already down one, you're not going to be able to take much of a proper fight. However, Ghoul almost falling, but ultimately being able to take out DJ Delphox. Now your Lucio's dead, and I don't even think you're going to get a chance at this point if you're in New York with so many pre-fight picks coming from Purdue. Now it's just going to be a game of cleanup, and now Purdue is just going to get this second point pretty much for free.
One more, and Purdue takes the series here. And considering the ult advantage they have going to this next fight, get a chance to get the first capture. And they're closest to the point too. So this is looking really good for them.
Yeah, the ult advantage is also very in Purdue's favor. They're pretty much at 5 ults. Flog a little bit behind at that 75. But nonetheless, during this fight, I think Purdue is going to sequester all 5 of their ults. And you're behind on that Kitsune Rush now due to that pretty bad error a couple of fights ago. And once again, Clone falling early. And we see the Venture ult pops gonna find the Kiriko as Flog falls. However, without your Kiriko, you're not going to stay alive as Junker Queen. And, yep, Ghoul, I mean, what can I say?
Yeah. Purdue just plays so much faster than SUNY here. Like, I mean, Purdue only used 1 ult in that fight, but it was 4 ults versus 4 ults. And the fight was over before SUNY could even use 1, just because Purdue sets up so fast with Ghoul on this off angle. And
Purdue has been preventing rotations, like their life depends on it. We see the Deadeye and the EMP both activated. And the Rampage re-ults from New York. And only finding trades is a 3v3 situation. Ghoul fighting for his life. Immortality Field coming a little bit late. However, Chicken Man still holding strong on this ult. I mean, on this point, 1v1ing this Lucio. However, now the rest of New York is going to close in. Just gets chased down by the Junker Queen, and now I do not believe Chicken Man, as threatening as he is going to be able to hold down the point 1v5 out of 7.
Purdue got a lot of point percentage off of that, though. I mean, they pretty much lost that fight whenever they were at around 45%. They got all the way to 77 just by the Baptiste keeping the Mei up for so long. And, I mean, the Mage is using Ice Block to stay on the point even longer.
Yeah, just, I mean, yeah, very well played from Purdue, realizing that New York is committing so many ults. We're not winning this fight, but we're just going to get all the progress we can. And we see a massive Earth Shatter once again, and Tidal Blast onto the Kiriko. Gonna, just clean up the rest of those kills. We do see no ultimates, however, in the bank for Purdue. So if this Lucio can get that touch and can activate that sound barrier, it's still a position that I don't think that okay, no, Sombra just barely activating that overtime, and now section Lucio not gonna go off as Chicken Man on the Junkrat, just blowing him up, and wow.
Oh wow. Yeah,
that is serious for Purdue.
Yeah, Purdue just played so fast there that, yeah, I mean, SUNY wasn't able to use either support ult on that entire last point, even though they had, what, 2 whole fights to do it? Like, right here.
I mean,
so fast.
Yeah, it's the matter of even when New York had the ult advantage over Purdue, it did not feel like it. They were playing with their ults so quickly and arguably so much better. On Coliseum, we saw New York using their ults very effectively, and Purdue kind of struggling to find huge value out of theirs, and that was ultimately the map winner for them. And Purdue kind of came back and showed, no, I think that's what we're gonna be doing here. So very clean 3-1 win for Purdue University Sigma team.
Yeah, yeah, they struggled on the Coliseo there. Maybe getting a bit silly with the Diva Bomb, but
A little bit.
aside from that, yeah, Purdue just played. They were just the better team. They played so much faster, and were always set up earlier, and just
Yeah, I think ultimately the how sure Purdue was about their decisions was such a big deal. But I think that's the series for us. So that's all for now. Thank you everyone for watching, and we may see you next week.
Yeah, 3-1 Purdue Sigma over SUNY.